Hey folks, back with ancient cosmology. So I've been studying more the Poverty Point uh, Mounds site in Louisiana. So there it is, Poverty Point World Heritage Site. We have these like big, arc of, these arcs of arc mounds. And so anyway, I think it relates to these shapes of these critters here. The shape of the river. That basically this, and also I think it may relate to the shape of. I'm thinking that this is a bear. This could be another iteration of the same bear. Um, and so I think that these kind of forested areas on top represent the ears of the bear. So part of this mound site could have been to maintain the ears, but of course the modern Yankees destroyed one of the ears here to build a parking lot and a visitor center and put a plaque and stuff like that to so that people could visit this thing, which was originally built because of the ear that they're destroying. Anyway, so this is like what the ancients did, like holy site, like anthropomorphic animal or human shapes, animal and human shapes in nature were sacred, um, as they should be, because they help to memorize the shapes of cosmology. So yeah, I suspect this is another iteration of the same bear, but I'm not totally sure, and I'm not sure if that one had ears or not down here. Um, so some other. So yeah, this is a close up of the head, and so I suspect this ear was originally shaped a little more like this ear, but then they carved into it here to make more lawn and parking lot and visitor center and stuff for the mounds. Um, so the mounds are about 4,000 years old, like about 1800 BC. Uh, and they were the largest, they're said to have been the largest active structure site complex in North America for over 2,000 years. So this would have been like the Hogwarts of North America, where people would go to learn cosmology, learn this type of symbolic science. So I think these could be other, I was looking at the river, there could be other iterations of like heads or faces. Like this could be some sort of head, maybe the same bear or some other animal head coming out. Not as obvious on that one, but not good enough to build all those mounds next to, but still. So yeah, there's this one. That could be a face of some kind. This could be a face of some kind. These are all in Bayou Macon. Same Bayou. So this, I suspect, is actually was seen as another avatar or another iteration of the same avatar as the Poverty Point one, because it has very similar shape. but of course, people just put a fucking freeway right across it. I mean, probably there was a sacred path that went this way because it was a holy site. So the Yankees just, or the modern capitalists, they're just like, oh, cool, there's a path there. Let's turn it into a freeway. And then there's this cool halo thing or hat or something going on back here. So, of course, they put like a power plant or something. There's no labels. Google Earth does not label a lot of things, but yeah, that looks like a power plant. This is the city of Delhi, Louisiana. Um, so yeah, I suspect that at least part of this is probably man-made or man-altered. Like, I mean, the regularity of this bayou, the fact that it stays roughly the same width and doesn't branch out at all, is a sign that it could be at least augmented by people, like dredged in antiquity. Because dredging bayous and making canals and stuff, and maybe dams, that would be serious business back in this area because the Mississippi was flooding a lot, so they would make things like this to control the flooding. So yeah, these shapes are very similar. This is what makes me think that they did tweak it a bit. Like they probably did find natural shapes like this a bit, but they might have tweaked them to be more like this. So yeah, I suspect this is a bear with the two ears, and that this is probably the same bear, and it might have even had two ears here, but then one of the ears got cut off by this modern road and whatever for the power plant and this lawn area that they put in. That's my guess, that this area used to look more like these before that road. And then this road, of course, causes mayhem. I mean, there's some kind of circular shape here that could be the eye, or could have been seen as the eye. I don't know what this must be, a lake or something there. So yeah, Delhi, Poverty Point, and these are not very far from each other. They're like a few miles, I guess. So yeah, there's no labels in here, but it looks like some kind of weird power plant. And so here would be where they would have gotten rid of this other ear so they could make this road and clear more way for the power plants. So yeah, the Eminio documentary Dreamtime Traveling Through the Australian Continent says sometimes the spirits transform themselves into a rock, a tree, or other parts of the landscape. When this happens, they become sacred places which only the men and the women who have been initiated have the right to see. So this would be what you would build in one of those type of sacred places where the initiates would go to get their education, and then they would, ascend up these mounds and walk along them and view the shapes and sing the songs and that encode the stories, that encode all the information about the geography, and also probably a lot of other information if it's anything like other traditions like that. And this kind of makes it sound small, like a rock or a tree, but for an example, like in Australia, their holiest site is a rock called Uluru, but it's a rock that's like a mile wide or something. So this definitely fits that. This is some funny thing. Somebody posted like Blue Dragon River in Portugal is seen from space. How did they know to name it that before we had space? So like I shared it for that, but I think nobody got the joke. But and supposedly this got a lot of its shape in modern times because of a dam. So who knows? And it was apparently Chinese people that saw pictures of it that especially made a big deal of it being a dragon river, which makes sense because in China they represent rivers as dragons. So this is a map showing, you know, like this is the town of Delhi, which is this town here. And this is that right there. And then here's Poverty Point right there. So it shows how close they are in Louisiana on the Bayou Macon. And so these are both shown with south as up, exactly with south as up, which seems to have been a common practice throughout the globe of formulating these type of avatars with south as up, although it's not always the case in every culture. See, this is something just like anthropomorphic shapes of lands that people were posting about on Reddit. This is, I guess, Britain as a witch and a pig, and I don't know what Ireland is there. But, it's always like you focus on the peninsulas. So these are like the Welsh peninsulas. This is the Scottish, Argyll Peninsula. This is Strathclyde, Southwest Scottish Peninsula, Northeast Scottish Peninsula, and Devon and Cornwall down there. The Sleeping Witch in Berchtesgaden, Germany.